Oh, Edmund, I'm so happy to see you.
Lori, you are sweet. Yes, indeedy. You read my new letter?
Of course I did. A few times.
And?
I'll do anything for you. You know that.
And so you shall. You are real special, I'll tell you that. That's why I only let you and a few others in to see me. So are you accepting this quest?
Of course I accept it.
You'll find the key in the chest. You'll find it deep in the valley by the river. In the shack that I done told you about.
I will, and I'll bring it to you.
No. You gotta bring it to the riverman. That key doesn't belong to me anymore.
The riverman? Well, who's that?
He lives down the river on the opposite end of my shack.
Well, will he know me? Do I have an address? Is he expecting me?
He's only the riverman. He's not on any map. You just gotta follow the river down current, and you'll know him when you see him. It's always important to finish what you started, Lori.
All right, I'll do anything for you, Edmund.
Go on now.
All right, well, I love you. I'll do anything for you, Edmund. Love you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe.
And I'm Mary.
And we're Book Buds.
And today, Joe's going to tell us all about Gone to See the Riverman by Kristopher Triana. Triana. I had one job.
Close enough.
Yeah. So this was a messed up book.
It was so disturbing. Deeply disturbing.
Tell us.
So Will's TB's vlog, another fellow booktuber, I asked him specifically for a very scary book.
Okay.
And he gave me this one.
Uh-huh.
And I'm really happy he did. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It was there were some sickening parts to it, which prevented me from giving it a 5-star. It wasn't scary, but it was like deeply disturbing. Like one of those horror movies that like are like really disturbing and like freaky and
you're like, oh my god, people like this exist.
Yeah gross.
Yeah,
but I did enjoy it. I listened to it, which made it kind of cooler,
even creepier, I'm
sure. Okay, so there are some trigger warnings in this book. Incest, thumbs down. Sexual molesting, gross. Okay, and the things that the murderer does to people, I mean, it's like sickening stuff.
Yeah, it'll turn your stomach.
Yeah, so it's pretty gross. So those are some trigger warnings. If you have any issue with those, then don't read this book. It's not for you.
So I'm imagining some of the things you told me you're not even going to say on the video because it's just that gross. Am I right?
Well, I'm going to say one of them.
Okay.
At the end.
Okay.
Because it's in the sequel.
Okay.
We'll touch on that in a second. All right, so we're going to do like a non-spoiler part, and then as usual get into the spoilers because it's just more fun. That's why. All right, so this book, as you saw in our scene, we have Lori, who she's a real sick, twisted individual. And
I love this man in prison.
You don't know how sick she is until the book continues to go on, and you learn about her past. But she is obsessed with true crime, obsessed with serial killers. She has serial killer memorabilia. Who does that?
There's people out there in this world that do.
It scared me. It scared me. I'm just scared. And she like writes to all these serial killers, but this one she particularly enjoys. Okay, Edmund, and I think he's like in her area or whatever. He's like a famous serial killer in her area in the woods, and he targets Asian women and women who resemble Asian descent.
Okay.
Murders them, has sex with them. Not in that order always. It's disgusting. And, defiles their bodies in gross, inhumane ways. It's just disgusting. So he's a real bad guy.
Yet she loves him and will do anything for him.
She will. They write letters to each other, and she goes and visits him. I was going to say in the hospital. In prison. So she also has a sister. She has an older sister named Abby. She has brain damage. We don't know why. We don't know how in the beginning. We learn about that later. So she's kind of like taking care of her sister because her parents are like dead and gone and there's nobody. It's just the 2 sisters. So she is with her sister. So on one visit to Edmund, he gives her an assignment. He wants her to go to his shack in the woods that the cops don't know about and get this key and return it to the riverman, this mysterious riverman. She's like, what? You want me to do what?
But she'll do anything.
She'll do anything to be one of his like little followers, his little groupies. And he has many that write to him and stuff like that. But she is the chosen one. I think he recognizes in her she's sick.
Yeah.
So he sees that.
Yeah. That he can manipulate her.
And that she's in love with him.
Yeah.
So she goes on this quest. She brings her sister Abby with her because she can't leave her alone. She like needs help. She's brain damaged. And so the book goes on. They meet some really crazy characters in the woods. One creepy man who's like all sing-songy and saying these weird things about the Riverman and scary stuff. Like you could like picture like a movie, like this guy in the woods like singing this rhymey song and like being all weird and scary. Okay, and then they actually meet another guy who actually helps them in the woods. So like that's like I feel like that's
enough
all I
of
can
the
say.
non-spoiler parts. Yep.
Yeah. Are we ready?
Okay, so think about like, you know, really creepy, gross stuff. Do I want to read this book? And then stop. Now we're getting into spoilers. If you want to read it, don't listen.
Correct.
Okay, go.
This means you, Chris Reviews. We know you like to do this. Did you see her? She's like, I feel attacked. Did you see that comment? I was dying. All right, so let's get into it. So first, for spoilers, let's talk about Lori, the main character. Okay, there's a lot. So the main character, she is sick and twisted. So when she was younger, she had a crush on an older guy. And she found Abby, her older sister, and this guy having sex. And she was devastated and upset, and she thinks that her sister stole him from her. And she was just that, from that point on, she hated her sister. So that's part one. Part two is she wanted to practice sexual things so that when she finally does find a boy to have sex with, she can impress him and she's good at it. So what does she do? She starts molesting her little brother Pete.
That's
and
uncomfortable.
She's like having sex with him. And this poor little guy is just like goes into a depression and stops eating and is pleading with her to stop.
Oh my goodness.
And basically he dies.
Wow. Why does he die?
Because he goes into a depression, he stops eating, and he's just like stops
Medically
functioning.
Wastes away.
Because he's like so disturbed by what's happening.
And that's totally her fault.
And he's a little kid and doesn't really know how to navigate through this. Yeah, and it was like a big secret. She's like, you can't tell our secret. So it just weighed too much on him. I mean, I can't stand incest in books. It makes me sick. Why is this happening?
And it's like super sad.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So Abby knew that this was happening. She witnessed it one night because Lori would go into his room. So like Abby saw it. And she confronted her sister and said, and it wasn't like, it was kind of like, she was like offering help. She's like, we have to stop. We have to help him. He's sick with this. We have to go to our parents. I'll help you. I'll support you. Da 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 da. Lori was not having any of this. She was like, absolutely not. She needed to keep her secret. So what did she do? She tried to get rid of Abby by, I think she like pushed her off a cliff or something like that. And this is how she got the brain damage.
Nice. Lori's not a good person.
Not at all.
Yeah.
She needs some help.
Yeah.
So now Abby is kind of like her little sister where she has to care for her.
Like, you're reading about these like terrible characters. Like, could you still get like attached? Because they were so gross. Like, when I'm reading about gross characters, I hate them, and sometimes it makes me like not like the book. But you still like the book.
I did like the book. Well, the ending, we gotta wait to see what happens at the ending.
We'll get there.
So now Lori thinks, because of the accident and the brain damage, that Abby does not remember anything that happened in the past. But she does. She starts bringing up Pete, their little brother, what they did, what she did to him, and she's claiming on their journey in the forest that she sees her little brother and that he's here with them.
So while they're journeying, she's like becoming aware that, oh my God, my sister still remembers?
Yep.
Okay.
And freaked out because she keeps saying that Pete's here.
Uh-huh.
So like there's that level to it as well.
Okay. Creepy.
So now let's talk about Edmund and Lori. Okay. So he sends her into his shack to get the key from like the chest, and I'm thinking it's like the chest of drawers that are in their room, right? Like the dresser. It's not. When she gets there, she finds one of his latest victims chained up in the basement, dead, decomposing, disgusting. The key is in her chest.
Ew.
And she has to go retrieve it. She's got to go get it because she needs to complete her mission.
Ew. And she does it?
She does it.
Oh, she's disturbed.
She's so disturbed.
Ew.
She's so disturbed. Okay, so she gets this key, and now she has to go find the Riverman. They meet this guy along the way, and he's helping them, but he's like, you can't go see the Riverman. Like, this guy is bad news, and it's like a myth in the woods, and it's like whoever's like comes in contact with the Riverman turns into like a psychotic killer. like a crazy person.
Well, it sounds like she's on her way to that.
She certainly is. So I think that's how like Edmund became a serial killer, possibly. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You know, the details are a little fuzzy.
Uh-huh.
But this Riverman is, and I'm still a little unclear. Is it like supernatural? You know, he's kind of like the devil.
Okay.
You know, so is this happening in their minds because the woods are like, you know, have evil, ancient
Lurking
evil in there, or is
yeah.
this really a thing, the Riverman?
Right.
You know, I don't know. Either way, it's kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
So I'm skipping around a little bit. She finally meets up with the Riverman and gives him the key, and he convinces her to finish what she started. And that was one of the lines in our skit.
Uh-huh.
And he's referring to, you got to finish your sister off.
Oh, nice.
You got to kill your sister. And she does. She kills her. She pushes her off the cliff again or something into the river. I don't know.
And she dies.
Dead.
Wow.
Done. And that was like a sad part in the book because it's like, oh.
This poor girl.
Yeah, and this girl is like killing her brother. And then she's killing her freaking sister. Twice.
Uh-huh. Wow.
It's terrible. It's so disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's all those feels happening when you read this book.
When the book started, did you realize she was this, like, deranged?
No.
Okay.
No, you don't know the depth of her craziness until
As it goes.
you get the backstory and the family and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end, Edmund escapes from jail. There's like an uprising and he's like the only one who escapes, right? So they've been writing letters. So he has her address. So he pretty much goes to her apartment and waits for her. He couldn't wait too long though, because along the way he finds this woman to murder and behead in Laurie's apartment.
Oh.
And when she comes home, she finds him there having his little fun because he likes to have fun with the bodies.
How did she react to that?
She was mad because she was jealous. She couldn't believe it. She wants to be his everything.
And you needed this dead body?
Right.
I have a perfectly good dead body.
Yeah. So basically,
Oh my
the book
God.
ends with him like killing her.
Okay.
So she gave herself up to him.
Uh-huh.
Gave herself, sacrificed herself, and he went to town.
Gross. Now, why on earth did he, I'm like, don't even want to talk about it. Why did he send her to the Riverman? Like, what did it accomplish for him? Nothing. Right? It just sealed the fate of her sister.
Now I feel like I need Will. Will, do you know? They, you know what happens to my memory, but I think so. She gave him the key, the Riverman.
Yeah.
And did he like make it possible that Edmund escaped? Maybe that was it.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I think the Riverman granted her request of letting them be together.
That would make like twisted sense because like
Yeah.
if he's sending her to the Riverman like to complete her task, he knows that it'll like feed some need of the Riverman, right? In the way that books work.
Right.
Okay. So that allows him to escape.
I think
That could
that's
be.
it.
That would make sense, yeah.
Will, am I right? Am I wrong? I want your comments. Yeah. So there is a sequel, and I was so excited to read the sequel. Now, let me also say that I listened to this with my friend at the same time. She hated it,
Uh-huh.
and I did not hate it at all.
Okay.
She did not like it at all. It was
It
not
just
what she
too-
was looking for.
Too
Yeah, it was
gross and disgusting for her.
And she wanted something that was like really scary.
Uh-huh.
You know, if anybody knows any of those kind of books, that we want to be scared.
Scared, not creeped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I enjoyed this one, so I wanted to read the sequel.
Yeah.
It was horrifying. It was so different. It was disgusting. I was nauseous. I was listening to it. I'm like, this is terrible. Like, I don't want to read this. So
can people read the first book and not the second?
yeah, don't
Okay.
even continue.
So do that, guys, if you want to read this at all.
One of the nasty things in the sequel was, I think it was Laurie. He like, after he killed her, he rips out her eyeball and like keeps it with him.
Uh-huh.
And then he was like, Mary, I can't. He was like licking and tonguing the empty eye socket. Who thinks of this? How could you go there? Like, I can't.
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
that is disgusting.
So yeah, I didn't really like that.
Okay, so I'm not reading this. Is this one that you guys will read?
You're not? I'm shocked.
Let us know what you think.
Why wouldn't you want to read this? If you're enjoying Book Buds, give us a thumbs up.
And share us with your friends.
And subscribe to our channel. Book Buds!
This one had me shivering in my boots. I was so scared.
I have 4 pieces of tape. Why do I have 4 pieces of tape for a 2-tape job? Here?
Reinforce that shit. You have handcuffs?
I do have handcuffs. In my pocket.
You are sweet at that. Yes, indeedy. That's straight from the book. Sick bitch. You're
Yeah.
one twisted sick motherfucker.
You are too.
Yeah.
As you're walking, I'm going to say it.
Well, we didn't have a dress rehearsal. Don't be aggravated.
It's getting noisy again.
Well, you didn't fucking give me the right shit. Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say.
And?
Wow. Key in the chest. It's in the river. It's not in the river. It's in the shack by the river.
Yes.
Okay. You'll find the key. Here we go.
I've been looking at you. I'm going to try and not.
Find the key in the chest. It's down at. You'll find the key in the chest. It's down by the river. Fuck! You'll find the key in the chest. You'll find the key in the chest. You'll find it deep in the river by the shack. Deep in the river by the valley by the shack. That I done told you about.